A rusting oil tanker, 2 nuclear-powered navies, and 1 Atlantic flashpoint. It's almost like a rerun of the Cold War. Russia versus America at sea. A short while ago, the U.S. military completed a risky operation. They seized a sanctioned oil tanker, a ship that was flying the Russian flag, a ship that was supposed to be escorted by Russian submarines. I know it sounds like a dangerous flashpoint, so let's look at the build-up. Last month, the U.S. imposed a partial blockade on Venezuela. They banned sanctioned tankers from the region. If any sanctioned ship came close, the U.S. would seize it. Since then, 2 such vessels have been taken, the Skipper and the Centuries. But a third ship eluded them, and that's the Bella 1. This ship is around 24 years old. It tried to dock in Venezuela and load up oil, but as tensions rose, it fled. The U.S. Navy then tried to chase the ship through the Atlantic, and that's when something strange happened. Until then, Bella 1 was an obscure vessel. No clear owner, no clear flag, no clear jurisdiction. Basically fair game for the U.S. Navy. But as it fled the Caribbean, the ship registered itself as Russian. The crew painted a Russian flag on its side, and they renamed the vessel from Bella 1 to Marinera. So suddenly, this stateless ship became a Russian ship, meaning it now had Moscow's protection. And that's why Russia has reportedly sent a submarine to escort this ship safely to Murmansk. That's a port city in the Russian Arctic. But like I said, the ship never made it. It was seized by the U.S. military from the northern Atlantic, reportedly from near Iceland. We have a statement from the U.S. military. Here's what they've said. This seizure supports President Donald Trump's proclamation targeting sanctioned vessels that threaten the security and stability of the Western Hemisphere. The operation was executed by Homeland Security components with the support from the Pentagon. Russian state media have also confirmed this. Moscow had warned the U.S. against seizing this vessel, yet Washington went ahead. So what happened to the Russian subs? We'll have to wait for the official statement from Moscow. Maybe the naval support did not reach the ship. Maybe the U.S. did not care. Either way, this is a very dangerous incident. It makes you wonder what's so special about this ship. And right now it's empty. It's not even carrying any oil. But for Russia, such ships are very important. You see, after the Ukraine war, the West cut off Russia from global shipping. Western tankers won't carry Russian oil, and Western companies won't insure it. So what did Moscow do? They turned to a global dark fleet. These are ships which are more than 15 years old. They have no clear owner, no clear flag, and no insurance. There are more than 1,000 such ships in the dark fleet, and these ships ferry sanctioned oil, whether it's Russian or Iranian or Venezuelan. And for Moscow, this dark fleet is important. It keeps their oil revenue intact. And for the Americans? For the Americans, it's leverage against their rivals. Both Iran and Russia use the Black Fleet. So if Washington can crack down, they can put pressure on Moscow and Tehran. Hence, this intense maritime chase. Now, just to be clear, this does not mean that Trump has a problem with sanctioned oil. He has a problem with who buys it. Take a look at his latest announcement on Venezuela. Trump says Caracas will give 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S. That's sanctioned Venezuelan oil. Let me quote from what Trump has said. This oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America to ensure it is used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States. We're talking about oil worth nearly $2 billion. Trump says Venezuela will turn this over to America. It's not clear what that means. Is Venezuela selling the oil to America, or is the U.S. seizing this oil? That part is not clear yet. Also, where will this oil come from? Venezuela produces around 1 million barrels per day, but since mid-December, they have not been able to export it, meaning they have millions of barrels ready, some in storage and some loaded on ships. Most of this oil would have been sold to China. Instead, it will now be sent to America. Trump will then sell this oil in the world market, and he will personally control the proceeds. Doesn't sound fishy at all. As of now, Venezuela has not responded to this claim, but China is understandably angry.
The United States has brazenly resorted to the use of force against Venezuela and demanded that America first be applied when Venezuela disposes of its own oil resources. This is a typical act of bullying, a serious violation of international law, and a grave infringement on Venezuela's sovereignty that also severely undermines the rights of the Venezuelan people. China strongly condemns this.
Now, this is very tricky for Venezuela, especially for their acting president, Delcy Rodriguez. On the one hand, she must be defiant. If not, her revolutionary support base won't back her. She'll be seen as weak. On the other hand, she cannot be too defiant because then the US may attack once again. Yesterday, Rodriguez pushed back against Trump's claims. She said no external power was running Venezuela. She also brushed aside American threats.
The Venezuelan government rules our country, no one else. There is no external agent governing Venezuela. It is Venezuela. Personally, they threaten me. I say it. My destiny is not decided by them. It is decided only by God. That is my answer.
Let's look at the big picture here, and you'll see how absurd it is. The US imposed sanctions on Venezuelan oil. These sanctions crippled the oil industry, so Venezuela sold oil to China. Then this weekend, the US invaded Venezuela, apparently to revive the oil industry that their sanctions had destroyed in the first place. And now the US is taking over that same sanctioned oil. Make it make sense. The fact is, Trump's actions have opened the floodgates of chaos. The impact won't be limited to the Caribbean. It has already spread to the northern Atlantic, with a risky seizure and possible retaliation by Russia.